Hi there, welcome to my first market update of 2025. Happy New Year to everybody watching out there. And this is the video where I'm going to give you a brief rundown of what the difference was between the market of last year and the year before. Just try and frame exactly where we are right now and also give you some predictions for the year ahead, as promised I would in my last video. Before I do that, please hit the like button, it really does help us out, and also subscribe to our channel. So many of you watch these videos that aren't subscribed. We're getting closer to that 1,000 subscribers and it really would mean a great deal. So 2024 was a year of recovery. It was a year of recovery after what was a fairly tough year in 2023 on the back of the now famous Liz Truss mini budget. You've heard me talk about that many times in those videos. We saw a market that went into a very difficult space and then recovered out. And 2024 really kind of compounded that recovery. And it was genuinely a very, very strong year, really good volumes across the market. Let me give you some idea using some of the data that I have access to through 20EA, a fantastic all of market data provider. And we can look at what's gone on across our region. And when I say our region, I mean the region that we cover as Manning Stainton. So in that area, we saw across 2024 a 7% increase in the number of new properties coming to market at an average price of £290,000, and that was 4% higher than the year previous. Now, the number of properties sold, that was a big, big jump on the year prior, 15% up on the year before. Just gives you some feel as to how busy at times the market was. That's not to say it was easy, because the average price of properties sold was actually only 2% higher than the year before. And what that's doing is that's giving us an indication that buyers were not necessarily just happy to pay anything for a property. It was all about getting the price right and making sure that your agent was working hard for you. And it told us a few other things. You know, there's a relatively short supply of property still in the market. What is being brought to market, as I said, often is being brought too much, and you need to be careful that you're not pushing the market too far. But just as I said, buyers will not pay any price, and it's important to make sure that you get that listing price right. So what happened to prices overall through the year? Well, the Land Registry have released their October index. Now, whilst that's not towards the end of the year, looking at everything else that we can see, I would say that prices are going to have increased around and about 4% in the year from January through to December of last year. And I think that's pretty strong growth considering where most expected the market to be. So my predictions for 2025. 2023 was a year that was difficult. 2024, a year of recovery. 2025, we expect to be a year of some really, really good volume and really good activity. Yes, I'm very aware there's a lot of other stuff going on around us. The Chancellor's budget has not been well received, and there's some concern about the impact of that. There's also other big events still going on globally. I don't want to get into those. That's not my job to judge on those. But all I can say is that barring any kind of black swan, really difficult one-off events, we expect that this year is going to be a busy one for the property market across our region. I promise I'm not just the over-optimistic estate agent saying that. There's a few reasons for that and a few predictions I want to make. So the first thing I would say is in respect to mortgage rates. We think that mortgage rates, and we can see already evidence that mortgage rates are going to start to fall into this year. There's a lot of competition amongst lenders to attract borrowers onto their books, understandably so. They're in the business to lend. And there's going to be more and more people out there looking to borrow money. So we think that mortgage rates are going to keep falling. Now, on the flip side, the second prediction, it's not just me saying this, there's a lot of people that agree. On the back of the Chancellor's budget and the issues that this will cause around inflation and things like wage growth, the expectation that interest rates were going to fall to maybe the late 3 or 4% level, I just don't think that that's likely to happen. If we get 1, maybe 2 interest rate cuts this year, I think we'd be counting ourselves quite lucky. That would take us back to that mid 4% range, but we're not expecting anything greatly. So what that I think is going to do as the year goes on is prompt more people to just say, well, let's get going, because we can't see any big shift in rates likely to happen. So what does all this mean in terms of prices? And I guess this is my third and final prediction. So in terms of prices, we've got money able to be borrowed at a lesser cost. We've got people's wages that are growing. If you look at recent reports around wage growth in the UK, they're now over 5%. And what we've also got is we've got a gap, and I'm going to put a graph on the screen now which shows you the gap between inflation adjusted house prices and then a trend of real house prices. And you can see that what we've got at the moment is what appears to be a real gap between the inflation adjusted prices and the price trend. And what that's showing us is that's showing us that there's capacity for growth in property prices. And what you're going to see in 2025 is the market grow, not by 4% that we saw the year prior. I think we could be looking at maybe 6, maybe even 7% growth in property prices. Now, 4% in the year prior, that was the equivalent of £10,500 worth of added onto the average price of a property. So you do the maths. In the year ahead, we're probably going to see somewhere between £15,000 and £20,000 added onto the average price of a property across our region. That's our forecast. I know those are pretty broad and quite general, but that's how we see the market, of course. As always, you're going to have to stay in touch with us through these updates throughout the year. We're going to see a real surge of activity between now and the end of March. Of course, we've got the stamp duty deadline coming up. And to see the impact of that, again, I'll keep updating on that through these videos. So for those of you who are thinking of making a move through the coming year, we're here 8 AM till 8 PM, 7 days a week, and we would absolutely love to talk to you about how our team at Manning Stainton can help you move. Thanks for watching.